Dear panel, local businesses have to stand against companies like KFC, like Walmart, and like H&M, who have the profit, the political power, and the increased capability to manipulate consumers. But it's not too late yet. We think on Team Proposition that we have the opportunity to transform local communities into thriving economies and create diversities within cities, that consumers have the choice between a local business or a larger business, and therefore can have that specific choice. Two arguments within my speech. Firstly, why we properly protect businesses and why this is one of the easiest ways to do that. Secondly, why protection leads to benefits for local communities and why that is so crucial. But before that, our model. So as the motion has explained, this is about opening stores, so we recognize that in the status quo, indeed, there are already large retail stores. We are fine with that because we recognize the diversity to consumers. We want to limit that trend of growing McDonald's and H&M on every block. However, this is area specific. So when it comes to small villages, we say that local municipalities can say one McDonald's is enough for fast food chains. When it comes to larger cities, we are fine with more stores opening because we recognize there simply a larger population. Now, what is our justification for this model? We allow states to regulate economies to protect certain groups such as local businesses. That is why we allow states to have trade protectionism or to stop the creation of cartels among big industries if they don't want that. Note that the power as well as the budget of the state is limited because we want companies to be able to compete, we want consumers to be able to pick between stores, and because we're not capable of giving all these local stores subsidies, we think that the best way to do this is to limit the amount of large retails, and this is also why we're not banning them because we recognize that the power is limited, but this is about limiting, it's not about subsidizing or any of that because we recognize that is not within the capability of the state. Before I continue, sure.
If people have the choice to choose what they want to buy with restrictions, why don't they have that choice without the restrictions?
We think this debate is not only about choice. So we recognize that there's still choice for these consumers with restrictions, but the reason that we have restrictions is also to protect employment within local communities, to protect owners of local businesses. These are all benefits that stand on our side of the house. Now, my first argument is about how we can actually protect local businesses. Note that there is currently an imbalance between local businesses that compete against larger industries. Three reasons why we think that is true. First, we simply see that consumer demand for specific businesses is in decline. So Walmart and KFC can have manipulative advertising and branding that attracts their kinds of consumers to them, and therefore people go to KFC instead of a local restaurant. We think that is very difficult for small companies to compete on that level of advertisement, and therefore they cannot attract these kinds of consumers. The second reason is that we see a coercion of these kinds of large industries towards smaller companies. So we think that Walmart has a massive incentive to try and expand, and therefore sends letters to smaller businesses and telling them, if you do not give your store to me for this amount of money, then we are going to sue you and you will be in trouble. That level of intimidation is so bad for these small businesses that they're willing to wade into that and give into that and therefore stop their own production. The third reason is that it's very difficult for these kinds of stores to start themselves. We recognize that there's a large amount of people that want to practice their craft and sell products to consumers, but the difficult thing is that if they have to compete on things such as simply the space of a store and the proximity to consumers, they always have to compete with a store like Walmart, with a store like Tesco, and they simply do not have the money or the capability to do these kinds of things, and therefore they will never be in a location that is proximate to these kinds of citizens and is also not appealing. Now, what happens when we change that, when we impose these kinds of restrictions? Well, let's just look at these three reasons and what changes when our model is proposed. Well, firstly, we think that when it comes to these kinds of consumers, we still think consumers exist, right? So at the point where instead of having a KFC, now a local business owner can start their business, we still think that people will go there because they still want food, they still want clothes. But when we look at coercion, we can simply stop that with saying, you cannot simply do this kind of thing because you're not allowed to open an extra store, and therefore Walmart has no reason to send these kinds of letters to these industries, to these companies. But the third thing is that we lower the threshold to start. So you don't have to directly compete with these kinds of industries and with these kinds of companies anymore. But it's also that you're not the only one that's going to start that business. So even if you would dare to stand up against Walmart, you're probably the only kind of person that wants to do that. If we create an environment where multiple businesses can start up, we can create a local economy, and therefore people can depend on these kinds of businesses and have fairer competition. We have recognized that this is not a process that will happen within 2 days, but we think it's a longer process, and slowly we'll attract more local businesses and we'll create a fairer system for these kinds of businesses. But then my second argument, why we think it's a good thing that there are more local businesses within these kinds of communities. This argument is why protection leads to benefits for local communities when it comes to employment, when it comes to networks, and when it comes to a local economy. Firstly, 3 important pieces of context to take into account. So firstly, let's just look at what local businesses within communities look like. We think that when you have a local business, you know your consumers, you know the other businesses, you know your supplier, and that direct contact leads to fairer treatment of your workers, leads to fairer deals with your supplier. We think that is a good thing. But the second thing is that you can get direct feedback from your consumers. At the point where you give wrong products to your consumers, they can directly approach you and say, hey neighbor, you're not giving me the right amount of bread, or you're putting too much sugar in your bread, and therefore we think local businesses, through that contact and through that network, provide the best kinds of services. But then let's look at larger businesses, because larger businesses want to have as much profit as possible. Why is that true? Because they have a large network of shareholders that are demanding that kind of profit, and therefore they want Walmart to not give too high wages to their employers, to not hire too many employees because they want that profit. Also, Walmart has a massive incentive to spend money on lobbying, because then they can get that political power. But we also think within this context that currently we are seeing a creation of these relative empires where they're getting much and more power. We need to stop that with restrictions. The third piece of context that is important to take into account is the context of where these kinds of stores exist. We think that local stores often exist in communities primarily with working class citizens that can have a craft, can produce these kinds of goods, but simply can't at this point because they can't open these kinds of stores. Those communities highly depend on these kinds of jobs, and we create them for them. 3 things we do. Firstly, we simply create a local economy. You know each other, and therefore it's far more likely that you get your supply from another local store instead of a large distributor. We don't think large retailers want to do. Secondly, you simply provide employment. At the point where you create the store, you need people to work for you. We think that is already a good thing. But specifically when we look at the managers of these kinds of stores, if Target takes over your store, it's very unlikely they will tell you as an owner you can remain a manager because they have their own hierarchy. We think at the point where you can keep your own store, you can remain the boss of that store. We think managing positions for these kinds of individuals that come from a lower class is incredibly important because they need that experience, they need that kind of power. But thirdly, you also create networks where people can work there and they can have an internship. I have never seen someone do an internship at retailing at Walmart simply because they don't provide it. We uplift communities and we stop the power of these large industries. Very happy to.